Okay, so this is a few more questions on the pensions, the age pensions. This is the questions are coming from the chapter 2 from CLUP review exercises. I'm not going to do all of them in this video. I'm just going to do the ones that relate to the pensions because we haven't discussed the other deductions yet, the other allowances yet. So looking at question 1, this was a pension one. So in question 1, using the income test, just the income test, not the assets, calculate the fortnightly age pension for a single pensioner earning $460 in a fortnight doing odd jobs with financial assets of $200,000. So for this person, as a single person, their full pension would have been $854.30 if they had no assets and no income. And then we're going to work away their deduction. So we're going to then take away the deduction, and I'll put the deduction in brackets. So for this person, they're earning $460 in a fortnight. It's already a fortnight, so I don't need to do anything with that. I'll subtract the $250 work bonus, so the first $250 won't count at all. And then I need to add their deemed income. So their deemed income, now they are exceeding the $48,000 that a single person can have. So their first $48,000 will be deemed to earn 2%. So 0.02 as a decimal. Times my 48,000 plus there's the amount that's over that. So here I've got 200,000. Take away the 48,000 that I've already considered. Put that in a bracket. For each of those dollars, I'm going to pay 3.5%. So times 0.035 as a decimal. Now, this line as a whole is basically calculating my deemed income, but it's deemed income per annum. So don't forget to divide all that by 26 to turn it into the fortnightly deemed income. That gives me my total income. So I've got my income from earnings over here, and then I've got my income from my deemed income. Now, he's allowed to earn $160 without affecting his pension, so we then subtract the $160 because he won't pay anything on that first of it. And for everything in that bracket, he would lose 50 cents in the dollar. So I'm going to times that bracket by 0.5. That would give me a final pension of $708.53. Now, what if you were checking your answer in the back of CLUP? I think it says $708.30. All that they've done there is they've rounded that deduction to the nearest dollar first. I'm not entirely sure whether we need to or not. I think it's a little bit inconsistent in other places of the book, so don't stress out about that as long as you've shown it. If I want you to round it, I will be explicit in my questions. So $708.53 is fine. Okay, the next pension question that we have, actually before I move on to that, I should mention at this point that we tend to I've just put this in and I've banged this into a calculator and away I've gone. However, you should be very conscious that these kind of questions, nasty as they may be, could appear in your calculator free. So don't forget to polish up your mental math skills. You would need a little bit more working space, which is why I've opted to not do this, but I'll just go to green for a moment. If I had to do 2% of 48,000, don't forget to make use of your 1% and 10% rules. 1%, we're moving our decimal 2 places, so we're dividing by 100 effectively because there's 100 lots of 1%. So if I had to do this mentally, 1% moving my decimal 2 spots would give me 480. 2%, I'm going to double that, okay? So same over here, I'd have to work out this dollar amount first in this bracket. 3.5% is a little bit trickier. You might want to go into the Arabic multiplications, but you probably want to try at least a few questions. I'd actually give it a go mentally and make sure that you're capable of doing those calculations as well, just to be sure when you get to that final exam. Now, the next question that had to do with pensions was question 4, so let's have a look at this. Question 4, Ben and Lena are a home-owning couple, both eligible for the age pension. Ben has employment income of $400 a fortnight and Lena is paid $250 weekly. So your first trap here is that you've got weekly information here and fortnightly here. Remember, we want fortnightly for the whole lot. She earns hers for assisting with their childcare centre. Ben and Lena have assets of $800,000, excluding the family home because you don't have to consider that, of which $600,000 are financial assets. So again, if we were doing the 2 tests here, and it looks like we'll be doing both the asset test and the income test. When we're doing the income test, it's only the financial asset, so it's only this $600,000 that we need to consider for the deemed income, but we'll be using the full $800,000 for the assets test. So let's have a go at this. In Part A, we're first of all going to be looking at the combined fortnightly pension for Ben and Laura under the assets test. The assets test is probably the easier of the two. So let's give this a go. So under the assets test, I'd start first of all saying, well, my pension, if they were getting the full pension for a couple is $1,288. And then I'm going to take away their income. So, sorry, I'm doing assets first. So their assets, we need to consider the full $800,000 for the assets test. It doesn't matter if they're financial or not for the assets test. So $800,000, take away their threshold amount. Now, for a home owning couple, where I'm getting my numbers from here is these tables. Go back to it. So for a home owning couple, they're allowed this $286,500. Go back down to our question here. So I'm taking away $286,500, which is their asset threshold. I only get penalised for every $1,000 over, so I need to divide that amount by 1,000, and I would times each of those thousands by $1.50. That gives me basically a deduction here. I'll just change colours so you can keep track of what I'm doing. The deduction here was worth $770.25 a fortnight, or roughly $770. So when I subtract that from my full pension, I wind up with a pension of $517.75 per fortnight between the two of them. So that's not per person, but for the whole partnership. Now that's under the assets test. Under the income test, I would now have to go through that same sort of process. So I'd be saying, okay, well, the full pension, if they were giving it, would be $1,288, and now I want to take away the deductions under the other test. So for this, I need their income. So first of all, Ben had $400 a fortnight. So $400, take away the $250 work bonus because he won't be penalised for that, plus the female partner's income, which was $250 a week. So timesing that by 2 to turn it into a fortnight. But I don't really need to do that, of course, because I'm then going to take away one of the 250s because she doesn't need to pay for her first $250 either. Now that's their earned income. So then I also need to add their deemed income, which is only calculated on the financial assets. So that's going to be calculated on that $600,000. So for a couple, it's the threshold is $79,600 for the 2%. So it would be 0.02, which is your 2%, times your $79,600. Plus they had a lot more than that. So we then work out how much they are over that. So they had $600,000 in financial assets. Take away the $79,600 that they've already paid 2% on. The rest of this money they're going to pay 3.5% on, so times 0.035 as a decimal. This would give them, this amount here so far is going to give you their annual deemed income, but we don't want it as an annual amount, so we're going to divide it by 26 to turn it into a fortnightly amount. So far what we have in the bracket is their earnings between the two of them. But they are allowed to earn up to $284 between them without any penalty. So I'm now going to go take away the $248, which is the earnings income threshold for the partnership. And for each of those dollars, they'd lose 50 cents. So close your bracket, times 0.5, and that's working out 50% or 50 cents in each dollar for each of the dollars over that $248. Now, that would give me a final pension under all of this of $849. Now, the deduction, if you wanted to work out the deduction on its own, you would have got $439. And again, that's rounded, so I actually got $438.88. I think your textbook has rounded it to the nearest dollar first. I don't mind if you do remember to round that or not, as long as you get close enough there and you show me you're working, we should be fine. So that's how you would do that one. Now your final question is generally which one would they actually get. So under the assets test, they got $517.75 a fortnight. Under the income, they would have got $849. We always take the smaller of the two. So in this case, this couple would actually receive the $517.75 per fortnight because that's the lower amount. Okay, let's have a look. I think there was one more, so let's go to question 5. This was also a pension one. So Charlie has just become eligible for the age pension. He's a single non-homeowner earning $690 per fortnight doing odd jobs. He has assets valued at $900,000, of which financial assets are $750,000. So first we're asked to calculate the pension under the assets test. So let's do that one. So his pension here, if he got the full amount, would be $854.30. That's the maximum amount for a single person. Take away, he had $900,000 in assets, so $900,000. Take away $384,500. That's what a single non-homeowner is allowed to earn. So that value that I've just got has come from this table here. So as a single non-homeowner, $348,000. So that's not clear. $348,500 is what he's allowed as his threshold. So I've taken that away. He will only get penalised per $1,000. So you then divide that by 1,000 to work out how many thousands he is over. And for each 1,000 over, he'd lose, $1.50. Let's go back there. He'd lose $1.50. So times the $1.50, and what you'd get from there is that he'd wind up with a pension of $27.05 per fortnight. So he's got quite a lot of assets. He's still going to get a small amount, not very much, but he would still get a little bit of pension there, so he does qualify. Part B, calculate the pension payment he can expect under the income test. Under the income test, he would get the $854.30 would be the full payment if you got it. Take away his deductions. So to work out his deductions, he has $690 in income. Take away the first $250 because he won't get penalised for that, plus his deemed income. Now the deemed income is going to be broken down into two components. So he'll pay 2% on his first $48,000 because that was the threshold for a single person. Plus he'll pay 3.5%, so 0.035 for each dollar over that $48,000. So he had $750,000 of financial assets. It's only the financial ones that count for this. Take away the $48,000 that he's already paid the 2% on. That again would give you his annual deemed income, so you're going to divide that by 26. That gives us so far in the bracket his income, but he's allowed to earn $160 without having an impact, so you would then take away the $160 that he can earn, close that bracket, and you would times all of that bracket by the 50 cents that he'd lose in each dollar. And that would give you a final pension of $63.96. C says, does he qualify for the age pension, and if so, how much will he get? Well, that comes down to, again, which is the highest number of the two tests, lowest number, should I say. So in this case, his lowest one was under the assets test, and so that's what he will receive, will be the $27.05. And that's all we need to know for that one. Okay, thank you.